Okay, hello again. Just sort of do another video about lens I acquired. Actually, I bought this last week now, and I decided, because I got a good price on this, the wonderful, legendary 300mm f4, the old Olympus. And it still says Olympus on there, so I can call it an Olympus. Although I suspect any newer shipments will be coming in OM boxes, and they may have removed that. Yeah, this is a legendary lens. This is one lens I decided was a must-have. It's a lens I had before. The image quality is fantastic, absolutely incredible. And I was looking at this, and I was deciding, what do I want to take on this trip? Do I pull the trigger and get the 150-400 big white? Or do I go for this lens, which you can obviously see I have, but I've also bought one other lens, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about why I would still say the 150-400 big white is a ridiculously overpriced lens, and I stand by that 100%. And I will talk to you while I feel like that in the next video. I'm waiting on the I think you can guess it's the big beast lens that I'm waiting on, and I think I'm going to take that. I'm not sure whether I'll take this. I'm going to see how everything fits in the bag. But yeah, that's just a bit of dust on there. Yeah, this lens is incredible, and I mean, for a 600mm f4 equivalent, just blow the dust, well, try and blow the dust off. That's the trouble with these grooves, they collect any particles. But this is an incredible lens, it really is. The image quality out of this is as good as it gets, it really is. But regardless of what system you use, this is one of the best lenses you'd ever get for image quality. And along with this wonderful 40 to 150 or 80 to 300 2.8 equivalent, this is definitely coming. This is just for such a range and for such a fast lens, this is such a compact, beautiful lens. It really is one of the, and these two are two of the best lenses that have ever been made throughout any system. And this is what makes Marker 4/3 so fantastic, and are not such a wonderful option if you don't want to go for these great big full frame lenses. You know, you're going to get just as good image quality, because I think what people don't understand about image quality, it's not always about sensor size or resolution. Image quality composes of many things. Light, for instance, composition. When it comes to sharpness, and it doesn't really matter what system you're using, because image quality, I think, reached its peak a long time ago. I don't think image quality can get any better. And what I mean by that is, when you take a picture and you look at the image and you see the clarity, the sharpness, that's irrelevant to what system you're using. There isn't one system that's better than the other for clarity, sharpness, colour science. It may be different between one system and another slightly, but that's personal preference. It's not this one is better. It's all a personal preference. There's a lot of things that go into image quality. It's not just about resolution, or it's too much nonsense is spoken about image quality. But these are as good as it gets. They really are. My only gripe with this lens, and when I had it years ago, and before, and I had the same issue, is that the thing with the old Olympus lenses, they have like a clutch system to change it from manual focus to autofocus, which is up here, and this is the clutch. And it clicks like that, up and down. But although they're not that, they're quite easy to move, which is fine on this particular lens, because there's no way you're going to be holding this lens and having to touch this, and it's not too thick, it's just nice. So there's no way you're going to accidentally turn it into manual focus when you want autofocus, or the other way round. Now that is the one flaw with this lens, is exactly that. You can see if I put this up here, how big and thick this is. This is quite 3 times the size of the one on the 40 to 150. But so if you're holding this lens, and you're probably not, I mean, look, this is like the ideal birding or wildlife lens, so you're probably not going to need the tripod mount. So you can, this is removable, by the way. You just unscrew it and just pull it off by the back. You can't, it doesn't unfold, so you can only take it off when the lens is off the camera. You can't take it off once it's on it, but you can just unscrew it and it'll just come off. In fact, if I do that here, just to show you, see, you just unscrew that. There you go, and it comes off like that. That's the only way to take it off. But if you're holding this lens, you're going to be holding it like this. So if you see, my thumb is right on the clutch. And I remember years ago, I kept turning it into manual focus. And then I'd go to focus on something, and it wouldn't work because I kept pulling the clutch back down. So that is a flaw with this lens, because it's a pain in the arse. So what I've done here, because I'm never going to be using this in manual focus, is I bought this like rubber washer ring. You can use a hairband, elastic band, whatever. I just think this fits nice and tight, and this isn't going to come off or come out. This fits really nice. I just got a couple of these for about £3 off Amazon, and it fits perfectly. They're just like pipe rings, plastic pipe rings, but just use your own initiative. Anything, hairbands work, and it just fits quite nicely in that groove. So now that's not going anywhere. So I'm never going to accidentally put that into manual focus, because it is a pain in the bum. It really is. But that's the other thing I like about this lens hood. It's part of the lens. I think it does come off. There is a shorter lens hood. I'm not sure how it comes off. I've not tried to get it off. But yeah, you can. It's not. But it's like part of which is wonderful. I wish they were all like this. The problem with this lens, the lens hood on this, is that it comes off a bit too easily on this one. If I've got to find a fault with the 40 to 150, it's not completely in. It kind of goes up and down and stays on the lens, but it's quite big for the size of the lens. It's about the same size as this one, but this lens is twice as big. So I think that might have been poorly designed. They could have made a smaller one, I think, that just fitted more onto the lens and didn't come off. This does come off. You tighten it at the top. It doesn't really tighten that brilliantly. It's a bit on the loose side. You have to get it right, but it does work, and yeah, there you go. Now it's not going to go anywhere. So there you go. There's just a couple of little things, and what I'll do, I will talk about why the 40 to 150 big white lens is overpriced. And I know the fanboys of this lens will totally disagree, but of course they will. They spent a lot of money on this lens, but they spent too much on it as well, and that to me is not even debatable. But I will go into that into the next one. So until the next one.